have crashed out on the internet before. That was the old me. Okay, I can do this. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Being an artist is really interesting because you really have to toe the line between your public and private life quite carefully. Oftentimes the work that is most important to you and also that resonates most with audiences is the work that is the most personal. Instagram post. This can be difficult when you're not sure how much of yourself you want to give, and also when you care about the privacy of the people around you. It's fine. I'm literally a grown lady. Today I'm posting my trailer for my short film, While You Love Me, which I'm very proud of, and is a sapphic film that explores what people, women in particular, decide to give up by choosing to live an authentic life. Or alternatively, if they decide that they can't live that way, if they can't live authentically, what do they give up in that scenario? You know, like I can do what I want. It's a very interesting theme and one that is important and personal to me. I grew up in a family that was very religious. I grew up in the South. I went to church every weekend of my life for probably the first 16 years or so of life. And I also went to church school for the first 10 years of my life. So listen, I was in there like swimwear. Okay, let's start at the beginning.
Our mom came from like this commune type thing.
Yes, in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Where they had one religion that nobody's ever heard of.
And they all like lived on this like campus in like these cabins.
And they all had to go to the same school.
And the same church.
Every day.
They all got married at that church. They got funeralized at that church.
Mm-hmm.
They found their spouses there.
Mm-hmm. And they were only allowed to go to two colleges.
One was black and one was white. You went to a white college?
I didn't know that.
Me neither.
What?
I'm really surprised.
Why'd you go there? No offense. You were rebelling?
I bet she was.
The class was. We didn't want all the rules of Oakwood.
So you went to another Seventh-day Adventist college?
In the city.
Ooh, more in a big city.
More liberal.
Was it more liberal?
Mm-hmm. You didn't have a curfew?
It was late. We could wear jewelry.
They had a late curfew. They
Like
wore jewelry. Were boys allowed in the girls' dorms?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like Belmont.
Yeah, that's advanced.
Not upstairs.
Just in the lobby.
So no. So no, they literally were not allowed.
There were many things that I enjoyed about growing up in that environment. I had the same friends from basically birth through adolescence. My longest friends now are still friends from that environment, and I love them dearly.
I liked for the most part, the social level, but
yeah, you just love your community.
But they were so mean to me though. I don't know why.
When?
All my life.
They could sense your spirit.
Yeah. I mean, in
we
the
were
sense
just talking about how you have a gift.
Of
yeah,
what?
you do have a gift. You're disarming people.
Yeah.
Oh.
And some people don't like to be disarmed.
People are so, in religious communities, are so uncomfortable with their own humanity and imperfections, and there's this facade of always trying to attain something you'll never attain.
Obviously, surprisingly to no one, growing up in those sorts of environments have a deep psychological effect on you, especially like me. I was questioning things when I was 10 years old. Okay, I was like, why do we do that again? I'm supposed to think that because what? I never saw you as a free thinker.
Me?
When I was a kid, yeah.
You never saw me as a free thinker?
Yes, but I also think I suffered from that syndrome where, you know, when you don't realize people outside yourself really exist.
Mm-hmm.
I think I suffered from that until I was about...
That's really interesting. 'Cause I was never in it like y'all were in it.
I just thought you were like quiet and like
Devout?
Reserved. Not devout, just like...
Well, I was reserved.
No, I'm just saying, like, I never would have thought that she was being in the church like, yeah, this don't make any sense.
I was always like that.
There's just a really deep shame that is a part of the fabric of many religions, but mine in particular. For many people, it's not conscious. For me, it wasn't conscious. For the people around me, it was not conscious, and probably still isn't conscious. But of course, that means it comes out in other ways. So why did you stop being Seventh-day Adventist? Wait, are you Seventh-day Adventist?
I'm like a Jew.
She's culturally Seventh-day Adventist and she's religiously agnostic.
Not agnostic.
Queerness is one of the things that we were taught both directly and indirectly to be shameful about, to resist, to condemn. And when I was young, you know, I didn't really think much of it because, quite frankly, I didn't care. It didn't affect me, or so I thought. I've been anxious about posting my queer art because all these Adventists follow me still. Who cares?
I mean, I'm not being flippant about it.
I am. Who cares? You don't
She
care about those
can
people.
care. She
But she doesn't care about those people.
Even before I identified as queer, I was very clear in certain spaces that I did not hold the beliefs that I was brought up to believe. I've had many an argument with various people from my background, childhood, about why queerness is acceptable. I've heard a lot of people out. I used to get really angry, but at this point in my life, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. No, it's not that I care about those people, it's that it's the internalization of it that I'm excavating through this process, and that I'm aware that I'm excavating. I just don't like when people project onto me.
Like
and they
what?
love to do that. I mean, like, even from the beginning of my life, when you guys got divorced and people started projecting how me and Maya were gonna turn out, and we're gonna be bad, we're gonna blah blah blah, and we're
they're gonna say they're gonna tell me I shouldn't have let you play sports.
Who's gonna say that?
The people that think that
People say that for real?
in girls' sports.
Today, people say that?
I'm saying back then, that was you better watch out because, you know, they'll what's the word? When they co-opt you into being...
Indoctrinate?
Yeah.
I was indoctrinated in Seventh-day Adventism.
Not hard enough.
They trained up the child in the way she should go, and yet she departed.
You're supposed to not be really aware of what's happening until you're probably like 6, 7. And I remember being like 2, 3, 4.
Because you came out of the sack.
I remember being literally a toddler. This is my earliest memory, I think. My earliest memory is being in my little toddler bed and having to say that little, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. And I remember my dad leaving the room and being like, what did I just say?
Yeah. It's
If
not
I
very
die.
I don't know why they
Before I
tell
wake.
kids to say that.
It's horrible.
Did
I make you say that?
No, you weren't scary. I was a toddler, and I remember being like, "You're telling me that's an option that I die before I wake?"
I was a very scared child.
Insomnia.
Yeah.
That's why I got insomnia at such a young age. I was scared to die.
We both suffered from insomnia.
No one had it worse than me. No offense.
I used to be scared of everything.
I used to be scared of everything too. Very, very scary. It wasn't your fault, Mom, but I just want you to know we are very, very, very afraid children.
That makes me sad.
I know. It's okay.
I know you were. I didn't know you were.
Because I was scared to tell anybody that I was scared.
I was very scared of everything all the time. I was so scared. I was scared they was gonna wake me up in the middle of the night and say, "Girl, it's the time of trouble. We gotta go." That was what I was so scared of.
Because I was
trying to avoid that part.
Oh, you didn't really do that. It was every week.
And it also was the literal church we were in. We would go to vacation Bible school, and I remember sitting in there, I don't know how old I was, but they would be like, Jesus is gonna come by the time you guys are 14, 15. They would literally put ages on us.
They would put ages on it. They said before y'all are married.
Yeah,
like,
you guys
so
aren't even
why?
gonna
What
get
are
a
we
chance
trying for?
Like, I was
why
like,
am I trying to get all these good grades? You telling me the world's going to end before I go to college?
Man.
That's literally why I never took you guys to Sabbath school when you were young.
Well,
the
thanks
Lord.
for trying, but
Thanks,
they got us anyway. Yeah, and then everybody wants to act surprised when I'm scared and anxious.
Yeah, that's why I'm on medicine.
One of the hardest things for me was realizing that people want me to avoid queerness because they love me. which in some ways is obvious. In some ways, I'm sure some people think that's incongruent, because how could someone who loves you not want you to exist as fully as yourself? But people's minds, I don't know, they've genuinely been warped. Social conditioning is very interesting. It's very fascinating, and it takes a lot of work to undo.
So what kind of art are you,
I'm talking about like promoting my film and stuff.
Zoe,
I shouldn't care.
get over it,
At
girl.
all. I don't care about any of those people. No, actually, I do care about some of those people. You know who followed me the other day on TikTok?
Who? He's funny.
He is funny. And I was like, do not scroll through my reposts. Do not scroll through my reposts.
I just, like, I don't care. I just don't
I
like
know what
people
you're saying.
to think that, ooh, it's a gotcha. Ooh, you guys thought she was perfect. You guys thought she was always the good kid.
You're still better
and
than
the
all of
smart
them.
kid
You are
and the
perfect.
blah, blah, blah.
You are.
Yeah.
And they're stupid.
They're all losers. Have you ever been hated on by someone you would want to trade places with?
No.
Literally never.
My mom and my sister, those are my ride or dies. As long as I have them, it actually genuinely does not matter what anyone else thinks. Okay, share. Fundamentally do not understand that religious trauma is a thing that they could possibly unintentionally inflict upon someone.
Any trauma, honestly.
Yeah.
They can't conceptualize stuff like that.
They're not critical thinkers.
They're not. The whole part of the conversation is like,
When you actually talk to people and when you actually listen to people, which by the way, most people are not good at doing, you realize how earnest a lot of this fear is. It's not hateful in the way that we easily kind of throw around that word in politics today about how people are so hateful and blah, blah, blah. And you know, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of genuinely hateful people out there, but I think more often than that, there's an earnest fear, an earnest desire to protect, an earnest desire that you do not suffer, that I do not suffer, that I don't feel pain. And that's why people are homophobic or scared of queerness, because they associate it with suffering, with pain, with eternal damnation, with bigotry, with things that, you know, nobody wants to experience or should have to experience. But of course, the irony is holding on to that fear only makes the suffering worse. It only gives rise to more condemnation, to more discrimination. I was able to reframe experiences and feelings that I had through a heteronormative lens, and I was able to reframe desires that I had through a heteronormative lens. I'm telling you, like, growing up in certain environments, like, your brain actually gets really good at mental gymnastics. Like, we are gymnasts walking around this place, whether we know it or not. The things we allow ourselves to believe or disbelieve or rewrite, like, the mind is truly a wonderful thing. Derogatory. Misery does love company.
I hate that about it.
I think everybody else is as scared as I was, but they confront their fears by turning off their brains, whereas that doesn't work for me.
Well, people don't know what's on the other side of fear. They think it's just more fear.
Yeah.
I think you guys are more indulgent of your emotions than we were.
Fair
Because
enough.
we heard the same stories and worse. Like, looking back, we were like, y'all are crazy.
I have to show up as authentically as possible. That is part of my path, part of my purpose. There's plenty of people who see me in this context and in, you know, whatever other context and think that I just don't care. I do what I want, what I think is right. I'm fearless in that way and I just go for it. But the reality is I'm actually terrified all of the time, and I do it anyway because it's that important to me. And I take care of myself, I support myself. Only people that I like are going to watch this anyway, so. I mean, I hope nobody says anything, but I like that I'm having those conversations with my mom, because then it gives, oh, I have my mom's stamp of approval. Literally, what are any of you other people gonna do?
What is it, like your like great uncle, or is it like cousins? And
Well, I thought I was going to be Seventh-day Adventist forever. I have undone a lot of my social conditioning in favor of refinding my intuition, learning to trust my intuition, so that I don't have to listen to somebody tell me what's wrong and what's right. Because literally, what do they know? Like, genuinely, what do they know? We're all on distinct paths, and I think over-relying on teachings of other people is a very easy way to get yourself distracted from the path that you're meant to be on and that you're meant to follow. And I'm a person who believes in questioning everything, literally everything. No system goes unquestioned by me. And that's a really hard way to live, actually, because I'm actually not contrarian at all by nature. I love things. I love loving things. I love being a fan. I am not a hater in terms of like pop culture and things like that. Like I love seeing everybody try. I want everybody to do a good job. I'm really not here to like just be a, you know, an annoying little prick, like ruining a good thing all the time. That's not my ministry, no pun intended. That said, for our institutions, for our systems, the things that we exist in, those things I would say I'm curious. I'm a very curious person. And so I am always stripping apart, how did we get here? Why is this the institution that we all are now striving to uphold the tenets of? Why is this system the goal? Why? That's just me, and I can't help it. I have a lot of confidence in how I choose to show up now because I've actually asked myself, why are we doing this? Why are we here? Why am I in particular here and doing this? Because for me, just because your mom and dad said so has never been a good enough idea. Respectfully to them, they're just people. This earth is millions and millions and millions and millions, maybe even billions, actually I think trillions of years old. They've only been here. Anybody who's been here less than 100 years is a baby. Like, we don't know anything. Did your dad grow up Adventist?
My dad had a friend named. They got into some debate about eating pork. And my dad said, if you can show me in the Bible where it says don't eat pork, I'll become Seventh-day Adventist. We used to smoke back in the day. She wore jewelry. She was way more into it.
It's her aesthetic.
That's her aesthetic.
I mean, it was that, you know, Greta Garbo, Dolly.
On the one hand, who was surprised about me, right? Like, let's be serious for 5 seconds. I have been queer coding myself for at least, I don't know, 6, 7 years, most of my adulthood. Obviously, if you're not tapped in, then you won't see it, which obviously is a part of the reason for coding. Even though I've been queer coding myself for years and years and years, I've also been very strategic about who has access to me and to that part of me and who is going to understand and who blah, blah, blah. You know, I block people on Instagram, I block people on TikTok, I block people on Substack. My extended family, extended community has access to me in a very particular sort of way, but this moment feels different because YouTube is not a space where you can block people. Literally anyone can watch any of my videos. And in fact, when I started my YouTube channel, my family was like a big part of my original audience because that's how you get an audience on YouTube. You have to ask the people who you know. My parents have always supported me, have always been proud of me, and so they would post on their Facebook, oh, Zoe started a YouTube where she talks about her hair, throwback. I'm sure I have just a lot of random subscribers now who are far from my target audience, who are now being exposed to the grown-up version of me, the authentic version of me, the critical thinker version of me, and are probably gonna be like, oh my God, what happened to her? She was always so good. She was always so blah, blah, blah. And now she's, you know, doing whatever it is that they think I'm doing. And I don't love that feeling. I don't love being projected upon in that way. I don't like being perceived in ways that I don't like. I don't think anyone does. But another one of my journeys has been letting go of the care for that.
And here's the other thing. You can't even tell. Everybody does everything these days. And you don't even know what anything means anymore. Gays play straights. Straights play gays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What does it all mean? So even if you were straight cis, you could still play that role.
Yeah, but I don't want that to be the point either.
I'm saying, who
But
cares?
I hear you.
Because people, what do they really know? They don't know anything. Do you want me to put it out?
My trailer?
Mm-hmm.
It's already out, girl.
If anyone has a problem with it, tell them to come see me.
Will do.
Because I'm scary.
I think when I realized that literally nobody on this earth perceives me in the way that I perceive me and will ever perceive me in the way I perceive me, and there is literally nothing I can do about it, I resigned. It really doesn't matter. Like, we are all understanding ourselves through our experiences of other people. As much as we logically, intellectually understand that everyone is their own person who has a whole universe inside of them that we literally cannot access, that we don't have the language to actually understand as much as we might pretend that we do. How did the beginning of that sentence start? The point is, I understand that I'm a mirror. And so some people are going to look at me and be scared, be angry, be upset, be whatever. And all of that is a reflection. It's reflecting something back to them. My goal is not to run into them all the time. I'm not trying to really change anybody's mind anymore. At least not consciously, not directly. For every, person who there is like that, there are tons of others who are having the opposite experience, who are finally seeing something positive reflected into them, who are finally understanding a part of themselves that they couldn't quite grasp onto, who are going to explore their journey in a more personalized way because I'm reflecting some of them back into themselves. And I think that that is ultimately what is more important than what I'm concerned about in how people see me or perceive me. Something that I've always said recently is that it's not about whether it's true, it's about whether it's helpful. And that's something that I say about religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, things like that. Because again, I strongly believe that we don't know anything. Like that is my closest held belief. Humans don't know anything about how we started, about higher powers, about blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter to me what is true, because we don't know. So acting like we could know what the true religion is, what the true rules are, is just extremely arrogant to me. Like, really? And you think that you just happen to be born right? Like, that's just so silly to me. So my principle now is not about truth as much as I love searching for truth. I will continue searching for truth forever, probably, but understanding that I'm not gonna find it. My metric now is it helpful? Not is it true? And for me, belief systems that are rooted in shame, that are rooted in fear, that are rooted in anxiety, like as the catalyst for good behavior, those are not helpful to me. So I don't engage with them. A lot of people have different experiences though with those same belief systems where they do feel comforted, they feel loved, and they feel compelled to love. And I think that's beautiful. And so I think that if that works for them, then go for it. I think doing whatever it takes to, or believing whatever it takes to get you to your highest self is the most important thing that you can do, and the most valuable thing you can do with your time on this earth.
You know what I really love doing that you're not supposed to do in Seventh-day Adventism?
What?
Adorning my body.
Oh my god.
I love to do that.
Guess who just commented on my video?
Who?
Yeah.
I have that man blocked on everything possible.
You can't block people on YouTube.
I have him blocked on Duolingo. I'll make a way out of no way.
I love astrology, if that hasn't been clear yet, because astrology is helpful to me. It literally does not matter if it's true. If you're, only very superficially familiar with astrology, then it's stupid and fake, like 100%. But once you get into the minutia of it all, the mathematics of it all, the science of it all, then it actually becomes a lot more interesting, and at the very least is a really interesting self-reflective tool. That's also something that's very queer about me. She loves astrology, of course. But something that's interesting in my chart is my North Node placement. The North Node is said to kind of influence what direction you're supposed to move in this lifetime. For me, my North Node is in Leo. I'm also a Leo sun. So I have a lot of Leo energy. And Leo's whole thing is about being creative, about being self-loving, about not being afraid to take up the spotlight and to show up as yourself authentically. And I think that, Leo gets a lot of hate because that sort of description can seem self-indulgent or selfish, and it definitely can be on the shadow side. There's a shadow to every element, and for every strength there's a weakness that you have to consciously be aware of. But my point, what that was saying is, with my North Node in Leo, my purpose is to put myself out there, to be a light, to show up authentically and myself so that other people can do the same. I'm somebody who has to be okay with being seen, who has to be okay with being vulnerable, because that's my purpose and I feel that. And it's not everybody's purpose. You know, that's just one example of how me showing up, being queer, being visible, making queer art is a way that I am able to show up authentically, and I'm able to embrace that part of me that is meant to enact positive change by literally just existing. And I'm not fearless, but I am brave, and hopefully becoming braver every day. Every time I do it, I literally feel myself elevate. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm releasing myself from chains that have previously bound me, things that have previously scared me. And if it helps one person find their path, then I'll have done a good thing.